the one thing that she had to say about you and Tommy, it was in blunt reality, right? Hold on, I'm gonna take a thing. So they never had anything wrong with you. Neither did Tommy. But you also have to acknowledge the one thing that I have in common with you about Sophie. It was hard to feel like she liked me, or even like was okay with you, because I even had Julia inviting her over to my apartment back when we all moved out, right? And Sophie was coming over, and I still didn't really necessarily feel she was like super appreciative and like my had my best interests at heart. It was like that close to a friend, and so like sometime later she opened up and just like kind of said that to me. So it's like she will always admit that like she is like kind of a bitch and she's very standoffish, but for her own for her own background, she blames that. I didn't ask her what background in particular, but she just says her background. So out of respect for her, I didn't poke. You know what I mean? I don't like to poke anybody. I don't want to make anybody upset and bring up things they don't want to think about. So when I talked to Sophie about you, it was mostly about like what was going on. Like, let's talk about the heat of the moment. Like, that's what I told her. She's like, it was never that they didn't like you. She really did like you. But at the same time, too, Will obviously spoke up to Sophie about how, you felt how she, like, perceived you.
So basically, what he had just previously said is that his own vibe, his own intention, or that he felt from her, was that she did not like me at all, didn't want me around, was very standoffish towards me. And that's exactly the vibe that I got. I kept trying to be her friend. I kept trying to be kind and nice, doing whatever I can to make it easier on her, cleaning all the time, making sure the bathroom was kept up. I literally didn't bother her about anything until it was just too much of a mess for me to handle. And I was getting upset to the point where I felt she was doing it on purpose. And he goes to say that she basically just tells him that she's not, she does like me, but that's not the vibe that anyone else got.
And for somebody who necessarily isn't in that mindset off the rip, you know what I mean? It does put them in a little bit of a weird state. They're like, oh, well, that's weird. You know what I mean? Because I never really didn't you never even thought about interfering with your day at all. And that kind of goes with the whole like inconsiderate part of her. Because she's not inconsiderate on purpose. She's just kind of dumb. Like me and Jules were talking about that because we were talking about what you're saying to me. Like she's kind of dumb. Like it does seem like that. But Sophie is a very big clamshelly kind of person, and this is from other perspectives I got of her.
So she's definitely not dumb. She knows exactly what she's doing. Um, she's a manipulator, point blank, very simple. She's a manipulative person. She'll go around treating people one way and then talk a different way about them behind their back. But to me, she was very standoffish when we were living together in the apartments. Didn't do anything to pull her weight around the apartments. She gave Will a bounced check for $500 for the rent, which didn't even cover what she was supposed to be paying. The deal was that she would pay half, Will would pay half, until I could get a job to pay my part of the rent, and then we would split it 3 ways. That was the deal. She didn't do anything except go out and party with her friends, go out and drink with her friends, go out and do drugs with her friends, come back to the apartment completely shit-faced, throw up everywhere in the bathroom, have me have to clean it up, and not even apologize for it at all. So I sent her a very lengthy message about this one day, telling her how I felt it was very inappropriate for her to be doing these things, how I was always the one having to clean up after her messes, and I did not like it. Point blank. Just that, very, very straightforward, very simple. I wasn't bitchy about it. I was very like, hey, this is what you're doing. This is what I'm doing, and I don't like it.
From like her friends who got to high school with her, and some of her friends that were like talking to her when I was at her party with Tommy, like I just kind of got the scoop, and like everybody's drunk, so they're not gonna tell you exactly how they feel. But Sophie was a little bit just like a little worried too, because obviously when when I don't know exactly whatever happened with you, Bree, and I never cared to ask because if you weren't going to tell me one day, you're going to tell me on your own accord, right?
Nothing happened between
whatever
us.
was going on started escalating. You know what I mean? Started getting a little worse with you. So she then thought about. She's like, okay, well, if I bother her, right, and something is bothering her, like my existence or whatever I'm doing is like really just causing her not to be gross, not causing her to be happy, then like she really did like she not necessarily avoided you on purpose because she didn't like you, but she thought if she was like kept it very minimal, kept it clean, coexisting kind of thing, where she's respectful to a certain degree because she's not very mindful. You know what I mean? Because she's still kind of, a little dumb. Like, let's go back to the grudge growing out of the goddamn shower heads and stuff and the makeup everywhere. Like, she's a young girl. And with her background,
she's not.
I get
she's
it,
old enough to take care of herself.
Too, so she really didn't really have any structure to kind of change. And by the way, I'm not picking sides. I just completely know where she's coming from. And they're not to say she's not at fault for anything, but I just really want to make the picture clear for you, so at least you feel better about it. And then I can shed a little bit of light on the Tommy situation too.
She was stomping up and down the stairs outside of the apartment with her friend Raleigh, calling me a whore. All the time. Constantly. Outside the bedroom window, spying on me and Will. Outside the sliding glass door, spying on me and Will. Whenever Will was at work and I was just vibing, doing my own thing at home, looking for work, looking for schooling to go to, she was just outside of Walmart, just sitting there, either day drinking with her friends, getting high with her friends and doing nothing, or just, I don't know. I don't know what else she was doing. That's the vibe I got. That's literally what Zach just said.
Because I can't tell. Tommy's dumber than Sophie, and Sophie is like...
He's not.
I don't say that like they're fucking idiots and I hate them. They're just young. They don't know better.
They do. They're old enough to move out on their own. They're old enough to know better.
And I'm going to put you in the boat with me, Will, and everybody else, like Julia as well. Like, we all grew up and had to learn a lot of life lessons early. Make her feel bad for anything in situation like with me. Yeah. Tommy, I can actually make a point on that too, because that is actually something that Tommy really keyed in on, and Sophie keyed in on too. And they're very apologetic about that. You know what I mean? Because that comes with just like roommates, and you guys are in a weird like situation, so it wasn't like you guys were gonna be cordial about it. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? You live and you learn. That's how they're at least leaving it. Basically. But after, once she started getting involved with Tommy and stuff like that, with her trying to help him out and she not being there and got a good apartment and such, and Tommy trying to be a good guy because obviously Sophie was aware of what she was doing and, love for her is something more important than anybody else.
There it is. Sophie was aware of what she was doing. And I had a previous conversation with Will, my ex-boyfriend, about us being totally right about everything about Sophie and Tommy both. Tommy is basically he has some gang affiliations. He has a record. And I had already told everyone last night, he threatened me with a gun. He was threatening me, and he tried to make it look like a suicide when I cut up my arm. He attacked me.
Also, she needed companionship. I think she's a serial dater. You know what I mean? She likes to be in a relationship.
A serial dater.
So, she put her heart and her emotions into Tommy, and that's where she was focused on that, and not really, it's pretty narrow. So that left you guys to get shafted on money, on food, on cleanliness, and stuff like that. And going back to how she was treating you, as you did have, we all know that you did do some episodes, whatever, dude. It happens. I've had plenty of episodes in front of my friends and speak outs, whatever. I'm glad you were able to do it.
I'm not sure what he's talking about when I had an episode or a freak out in front of her, because that never happened. What ended up happening was me getting royally pissed off that people were stomping up and down the stairs outside the apartment calling me a whore. Okay. Will and I had an open relationship. Will and I both had an understanding that it was fine for us to be seeing other people. Me, I didn't see other people. I role-played online, which he agreed was totally fine. He was okay with it. I told him what was going on. I tried to show him the messages when it came to my attention that people were calling me a cheater. I tried to show him the messages and he said, no, you're not a cheater. None of that is bad. Like, I'm fine with everything that you were doing.
The privacy of your own place with Will, at least, so it's a little bit safer than having 20 fucking people pretend they know what they're fucking doing. That sucks dick.
20 different people she was talking to, slandering my name.
She felt at that point on thin ice. So she's like, I don't want to do anything that will cause her to either harm yourself or just make it really bad.
And there it is. There it is. She was planting the seeds to other people, making it seem like I was trying to harm myself when they were planning to harm me instead. She didn't like the fact that I was making her be an adult, grown-ass woman, taking care of her own goddamn shit.
And she's like, at this point, she's like, I don't want anything to happen to Brie. You know what I mean? She's like, I didn't want anything to happen to Brie. I didn't want her to be upset. And
she stole my grandmother's suitcase that I flew out there with to Connecticut. She stole my suitcase that had my birth certificate in it and my GED in it. And she said that she took it on the bus and someone had stepped on it or put something down on it so hard that it popped my micellar cleansing water all over my stuff. And that's what she said happened. But she took it to the airport because inside the bag itself, there was a JFK airport tag, baggage tag, claim ticket inside it with her name on it. So she took it to the airport. She didn't take it to the bus. So there's a lie right there, just flat out. And it had been months. I was asking for months for my bag back. And she was all like, oh, well, we took it to the cleaners. We took it to the cleaners to get it steam cleaned. And I'm like, okay, well, my stuff is in there. Can you make sure that it's okay? And that's when she told me that the stuff inside was ruined. And I had asked her, like, okay, just take it out, set it out, let it dry out in the sun. And she told me, okay, I'll do what I can. And I got it back and it was still dripping wet. Months later. It was months later and it was still dripping wet. So it had to have just happened. She just lied to my face about it.
Sophie also have fun trying to get her to talk clearly in the moment because she takes hindsight 2020 more seriously than in the moment because she's young, you know what I mean? Critical thinking is not quite fully developed for somebody at her age and when you guys were living together. I know you're
her thinking isn't fully developed for someone her age? Okay.
You're not older than me, right?
I'm
or were you older by me? A few months,
27.
Right? Nothing crazy. Oh, you're 26? Oh, I turned 28 today, by the way. I officially am 28. Born between 11:30 and 12 a.m.
Yeah.
So
I'm almost 28 now.
Thank you.
So you're 30?
She's just, I've just known Sophie for a very long time. You know what I mean? And it's just another girl that just, unfortunately, just another case of shitty parenting, getting in the wrong crowd. And she'll grow up and she'll get a little bit older and realize a lot of this shit because it'll hit her. She's wise enough, she's old enough, she's smart enough. I will give her that much credit for some of the one-on-one conversations I've had with her, especially in my apartment when she slept over with Jules. She's smart. She's got a lot on her fucking plate. And for somebody like us, especially like her, trying to find enough time to sit down and swallow that pill, the ego death pill, and just kind of eat it all and figure out what you've been doing the past 10 years of your life, it's hard. So I do think she'll come around. I love my cousin to death. He's a great guy.
Talking about Will?
Again, as much as he counts on me getting angry, he gets as equally angry, just in a different way about different things. So I always try to take whatever he says with a grain of salt, at least on the animosity, and try to figure out what he really means. But it's not
So I'm not sure what he was talking about there, because Will never seemed angry towards me at all. He never came towards me with any sort of animosity, except for when we were having arguments about me being watched on camera, about the people stomping upstairs and up and down the stairway. He kept getting pissed off that I kept talking about it. saying like, no one's out there, no one's out there, there's no one there, there are no cameras. And I'm just like, Will, you are never here. How would you freaking know? And that's what was pissing me the fuck off, is that he was never there. We were never hanging out. We were never doing anything together. So I'm under the impression that Will, at that point, was plotting with Sophie and Tommy to harm me, to get rid of me. They already got rid of my suitcase with all my stuff in it. If I hadn't asked over and over and over and over and over again and demanded my bag back, I never would have gotten it back.
At the same day, they don't have anything against you, really. Like, if you ever come back and stuff and hang out, you're there. They're gonna fucking talk to you, hang out and stuff. But like,
this is after we broke
up. Was it a crazy time
by the way, this conversation.
But, like, what little did you know at the time with what she was doing behind like Tommy's girlfriend's back? Like, that was a very sticky situation for her to be in. So, you know, I can imagine being split between having to balance a home life with you guys and then whatever she was trying to do with Tommy.
So
didn't make her like.
So she's a liar, she's a cheater, and she's a scammer. Basically, everything she was trying to push off onto me. This is what I'm talking about. She is a manipulator. She is a gaslighter. Everything you try to put on her, no, it's you.
Wind down any, like, she didn't wind down at all.
Lady!
She just put herself back in a rough spot. Nothing lined up well for any of you guys, and it sucked.
Lady.
It really did suck.
Come on. Lady. I'm doing something. You gotta be quiet. Sorry about that.
Will doesn't know anything about the claiming to rent thing. There is no fact on that. Will hypothesized that. Literally last night, I told him about that too. Like, bro, like, I'm glad you thought about it like that, but it doesn't fully mean that she was helping him, because at the same time, Tommy didn't have money.
No.
I mean, Sophie didn't have money, and that's why
she didn't have money.
Like, you gotta take a little carefully, because like
she sent him a bounce check.
He was just like,
$500.
I was thinking about it, and I'm like, bro, that doesn't count. Like, on paper, that does not count.
Why would you move in with someone, 3 different people, where the rent was basically like almost $2,000, not have any money, but still tell people like, hey, yeah, I'm going to pay half of this rent until she can get a job? That was our deal. That was the whole thing. And I was looking for work the entire time that I was there. It took me 6 months to get residency in the area so that I could get on welfare, to at least be able to help cover food costs, have insurance for medical bills that I am still suffering from. And she didn't do shit except make the apartment a mess, eat all of our food, stomp around, call me a whore with all of her friends outside. Like, bitch.
Like, it could make sense. It could fill the gap, but unless you ask her and she tells you and she could tell you the opposite, you have to just never fucking care about that shit again. Like, I'll eventually, like, I'm still in the mindset of, like, fixing the gap and bridging it, and when Sophie comes around, paying her dues in some sort of way to Will. Like, I don't, like, cause she, you know, I love my family, and you hurt me, and blah, blah, blah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
What was that?
He just needs to, like, get out of Carson's and get more life back, because he's been stuck. He's been more...
Yeah, I'm going to rewind it a bit. Just a little bit. I missed
Will
something that
doesn't know
I said.
anything about the claiming to rent thing. There is no fact on that. Will hypothesized that. Literally last night, I told him about that too. Like, bro, like, I'm glad you thought about it like that, but it doesn't fully mean that she was helping him, because at the same time, Tommy didn't have money. I mean, Sophie didn't have money. And that's what I kind of meant, like, you gotta take a little carefully, because, like, the only fact he had, he was just like, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, bro, that doesn't count. Like, on paper, that does not fucking count. Like, it could make sense, it could fill the gap, but unless you ask her and she tells you, and she could tell you the opposite, you have to just never fucking care about that shit again. Like, I'll eventually, like, I'm still in the mindset of, like, fixing the gap and bridging it, and when Sophie comes around, paying her dues in some sort of way to Will. Like, I don't like, cause she, you know, I love my family, and you hurt me, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah, he's doing better. I mean, with Andrew off his ass and him being alone at Carson's and stuff like that, like, not to say, like, it's always, like, it's better. Like, he's doing a little better about his emotions and stuff. He just needs to, like, get out of Carson's and get more life back because he's been stuck. He's been more in Carson's than anything else. So, anyways, they're young, they're stupid. This is a mistake that nobody's ever going to have the financials and ever going to have, like, be in the position to fix until they're more set up. Like, this is just.
And the problem is I was constantly there to help Will. I helped him get a debt consolidation firm together to consolidate all of his debt, expunge some of it, see what he was overpaying for, and put a solid monthly payment into basically all of his debt. I helped him do that. And then they basically just pushed me out, which is the story of my life. I literally help everyone to a T. I get nothing in return, and then I'm left on the curb. I'm over
what
it.
it is for right now, you know? She knows that she did bad. Tommy knows that he did bad. You know what I mean? And at the same point, whatever happened between you guys, whatever happened, not everybody is, you know, some things happened between all of you guys that had to make things happen the way they did. So Will is gonna be angry because that's just the way he grew up to be. It's fine. He'll think about it enough where he'll just be like, okay, whatever.
He seemed mostly depressed to me. It felt like he didn't know what to do. It felt like he felt trapped, and I kept trying to give him the option, like, hey, if you don't want to be with me, I'll go home. And we had that conversation multiple times where I was basically on the other end saying that I wanted to leave, and that he was the one saying, well, if you're not happy, then just go. So it was both ways. It was definitely both ways.
I'm glad you talked to me about it because I really wanted to tell you the truth and what was going on. And I'm not saying I was hiding it from you, but it wasn't like I'm not here to tell you what you should think, but I'm definitely going to at least tell you what I know. I mean, I do know a good fair bit than I wanted to. I mean, it is a little fucking retarded, but the way that I structured the conversation with Sophie and Tommy, because, they both know, because Tommy would not stop saying he loved Will, and Sophie could just saying that she respects him and loves him, and she's sorry the way it went.
So they pushed me out because they wanted a relationship with Will. That's what happened. And since I didn't come out and say, hey, we have an open relationship. If you want to do things, you totally can. Because I was on the couch one day saying, like, do you just want to fuck Sophie? Like, you can. And he was saying no. He was like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm gay, is what he kept saying over and over and over again. And so I think that's what really pissed them off, is the fact that Sophie gets what she wants because she's pretty and she's small and cute and innocent, but she's really not. Anyone in Connecticut who actually knows her will tell you she's a huge bitch.
Well, like, I told him, like, look, guys, it sucks. One day, make it up to him. He's gonna be fucking mad at you for it. Just know it, you know what I mean? Just understand that he's who he is. He's a big fucking bear, and he's gonna be entanglement about it, whatever. But if you come to him one day, and you have some gesture to pay him back in some sort of effort, and say, with an apology, he'll be fine.
Right there.
And he'll be happy.
She sent him a bounce check for $500, and they were having a conversation about her having to pay him back. Will told me that she promised him to pay him out of her income tax return. What income tax return? You weren't working. You didn't have a job. You didn't have any money, straight from his mouth, from someone who you were talking to who was trustworthy, drunk and saying everything from the heart, from what he said.
About it. You guys didn't forget. Oh, trust me, I've been around the block, dog. I can imagine a lot of things happening to a lot of different fucking people. I couldn't even tell you where I'd begin. But even if they kept things, at this point, I'm not fighting anybody. Sophie and Tommy need to figure their shit out and get stable if they ever want to plan on fixing Will's, paying off Will. If they don't spend their money properly. They don't do anything right.
They don't.
They even dodge me a little.
They don't spend their money properly. They don't do anything right. They're always partying. They're always sitting out front of Walmart doing nothing, just drinking, smoking, running around doing TikTok, stuff like that. I don't even know if they're making money off of it, but they're still just doing whatever the fuck they want as if they're rich kids without a care in the world. I'm sorry, not all of us have that luxury.
A bit, and I'm like, I can't do that. They're young, they'll figure it out because, no offense, this shit doesn't last forever. You can grow. I thought it lasted ever, and here I am trying to fix things. Yeah, she didn't need to do that.
Sorry, my alarm.
No offense, young girls are young girls. Like, how do you think I'm like, dude, I'm lucky that Jules turned out the way she did. Like, Jules and her are the same fucking age. And I'm very astonished that, because Jules was bad. Jules was like over our house being body mode all 5,000 before me and her were even dating. And then somehow,
all body mode? Jeez. Oh my gosh.
And so we hooked up and then just rocked it through to a fucking relationship. And here we are, about to celebrate 3 years next month. And she's like down. So it's like, Sophie's also kind of admitted she's also kind of like that. You know, she's always like admired that about us, and she always kind of wanted something of herself. So it's a lot of it makes sense as to why it happened. I don't agree with it. Okay, there's things I don't like, but I understand. Well, don't say strong, because we've had a lot of issues the past few months. We've almost broken up a few times.
Oh, we were talking about his relationship with Julia. They almost broke up a few times.
Left Calgary, by the way. She left her little daycare job. It got really bad. She fell into a depressive state a little bit, but she ended up getting a new job at a place called Ivriella. I think we talked to you about it. It's like the clothing store that helps like rescue and helps like keep animal elephant conservation going. Like they fund a lot of it through clothing, which is sick. She works for them now, and it's a great job for her. So she's been doing a lot better. We've been doing like healthy activities the past few months. So it was worse a while ago. It's been getting better recently. It's pretty good. Like right now, it's good. She did a lot of things for my birthday today, which is cute. I'm really happy about it. We do talk about you often, though. I think like every 2 weeks we'll talk about like. Yeah, she's going through her shit, but oh my god, Bree, if you see her now, she lost so much weight too from being like, we've been like with her job and like us going literal mountain biking, like down like big rocks, boulders, fucking dirt paths and shit like that. She's lost a lot of weight, feeling really confident about herself again.
That's good.
And she's not built for cardio, homie, and that's all fucking cardio. Look, we've also mentioned if you do come back, like, for visitation reasons, like not like you're not living here, dog. But let's get that straight. We know you don't want.
Really, I don't think that's up to you.
For visitation reasons, we're gonna change how you look at Connecticut, and like we're gonna show you the shit that like the ritzy kids do. You know, I mean, like we'll show you what we do and why we like this place.
Honestly, I was thinking at that point, yeah, I don't think I would ever come back to live there either. But the fact that he was making it like pointed as if he was saying it would have to be his say so for me to actually be able to go back and live there actually made me feel very pissed off. Like, I could go back if I wanted to. It's none of your fucking business.
I wasn't rich always. My family always wasn't rich. I'll just put it like that. Yeah. Also, I'm moving to Florida. My mom's moving to Florida, so I'll be half Floridian and half Connecticut. So in the wintertime, I'll be living in a very, 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 very big house. Like, my wing of the house will have guest bedrooms, so you can easily, like, just fly down for a weekend if you want. Stay in one of the bedrooms, and you'll never fucking see or meet my mom. Let's just put it like that. So, I'll bring, if you want fucking cuddly fucking bear kid, big top, simpy boy Will. Sorry, we were shitting on him last night, calling him a big simp.
I wonder why.
We were talking about you a little bit.
Oh, they were talking about me? They were probably talking shit about me, and he was probably defending me. which really fucking sucks because of everything that I'm having to go through is basically not necessarily because of him, but it has to do with him. So that it really sucks that I have to do all of this and it's going to hit him too. But it's my life is being threatened, so I'm doing what I have to do.
That's kind of awesome.
Ooh. Hold on. He didn't see. I knew he's been keeping something for me, and I think you just told it to me. I will not mention it at all. Okay, when he's comfortable to tell me that he was considering moving to you.
Oh, we were talking about him possibly coming to move out to California. He wasn't really serious about it, but I kind of wish he had. Maybe none of this would have actually happened.
Like, that's fine, because I haven't had he's been wanting to have a sit-down conversation with me for a little while, like one-on-one, and I haven't been able to, so that could have been it. He could have been told me about that by now, maybe, but our schedules haven't lined up. But dude, that's crazy. I'm free. Look, let me put it like this, kid. That's huge for him. If you even got a consideration out of him, that's huge. Like, in Will language.
Will can take care of himself. He's a big boy.
Sure.
I was just trying to help move things along a little bit more, helping him realize he can't just leave the door
unlocked. He likes
unlocked.
going out of his way in his own territory. You know what I mean? Like, you'll go, like, obviously for him, what he did for you, and, like, balancing fucking Moon's weird-ass situation, too, which, well, Moon or Abel is doing better, but, yeah, he goes out of his way. But I think a replant would be better for him. And being in a more of a community that's, I'll say it like this, I talk to people who are, like, trans, gay, bi, whatever, on the LGBT scale, and, like, they've been to New England and been here. It is night and day, dog. Like, the freedom to be who you want to be. And you've also talked about this, too.
It's way different in California, that's for sure. It's a lot more
freeing.
Yeah,
I know he has. Like, we've been trying to come out and play stuff with more, but I think he needs to change his schedule. And, like, he's got an event he's coming out to on the 21st that we're throwing for Bestie, which yeah, that sucked. Our friend dying really sucked, but fucking, he'll be good. I think that'll be good for him. It's good, dude. It sucks because it's like one of those deaths that just didn't need to happen the way it fucking did, and it sucks because it was so sudden. Like, it's like one of those petty deaths. You're like, damn, bro, I wish I don't go out like this, and then, like, kind of go out like that. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Like, it sucks. Like, Ben died, like, talked about how he wanted to die, and let me tell you this, that never scaled in comparison. So it's just bitter. But did he tell you that he talked at the funeral though?
He didn't even tell me that he
and said some really powerful shit.
I don't know. He didn't tell me what he said. I was kind of sad that he didn't want to take me.
Wow, I'm surprised. Yeah, no, he went up there on the mic.
I didn't really know Ben, but I mean, he seemed like a nice dude. I went to a party at his and Tara's house, and he was really nice. Tara was pretty nice. Didn't have any bad blood towards either of them.
I mean,
kind of wish I could have gone, but I think I was already back
I
here.
wouldn't have gone, because I also went up too. But, dude, he went up and said some shit. And also, please don't take my dude, homie, bro, this shit. That's just my vernacular. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be, like, rude. That's just, again, how I talk.
I didn't care. Homie, homeboy, friend, buddy, pal.
Fucking,
I don't care.
Yeah, no, he went up, and I was really proud of him. But don't worry about Soph and Tom. They'll come around, they'll apologize, because I'm still talking to them, I'm still friends with them in some sort of escape, you know what I mean? Like, I see.
And Will had told me that Zach was doing a private, independent investigation on Sophia and Tommy, trying to figure out, like, what was going on with them, and found out that Tommy was a huge shit eater, huge cheater, huge playboy, gang affiliated. He has a record of breaking and entering, armed robbery, stuff like that.
A lot of people's faults more than I see their perfections, and what they've been through is what shapes them in my mind, rather than who they try to appear to be.
Right.
But
how they are, how they appear, how you see them.
Let their fucking honey
rather than what other people say. That's how I live too.
phase die out. You know what I mean? It'll die, and once it dies, that's when you're gonna start seeing some shit. It always happens. But they're still too fucking strung out on each other. Plus, they have financial stress already added in their relationship pretty early, so I don't think it's gonna end well. Right. If I have to be honest.
That's true.
Tommy's too simp. Yeah, Tommy really likes Will. Like, not like in like a gay way, obviously. Like, Tommy like literally loves Will. He thinks Will's a great person, like a genuinely strong, good human being. Like he's like not to like he tried to say like in a very respectful way, like he's proud of Will for the shit he's been through. But
I wish I knew.
Because I gotta get hopping and like.
I wish I knew any of that story. Will never really talked to me about anything. I basically told him my entire life story before I even got there, and he barely shared anything, like at all. Which makes me really sad.
Change out of this bike and clothes and shit, because I got some shit to do. But I will hit you up later. Bree, it's good talking to you again. Jules will be ecstatic to hear that we talked in some capacity, so she loves you. She deeply misses you. Very much. Yeah, I will fucking...
What sucks is that I kept on asking Zach for Julia's social info, and he kept giving it to me wrong. I'm pretty sure he was doing it on purpose because of all of the lies Sophia has been telling, which have been transferring on to Zach, which probably transferred on to Julia, and who knows how that circle kind of ended up going. Who knows? It's whatever.
I can do this for you.
I don't know why he was even talking to me to begin with. He just hit me up one day and was all like, "Hey, let's talk. Let's have a conversation."
Alright, I'll type it in. I got you. I gotta make sure I typed it right. And then hashtag. 1 second.
He's sending me her social, which is wrong.
58075807. Boom. That's her shit.
Alright, I'm not going to show that, but I am going to show the screen
he went up there on the
to prove who I'm talking to.
I mean, if you didn't go, I wouldn't have gone up, because I also went up too.
Sorry, I'll wait for it to get back to the part.
That's some shit. And also, please don't take my dude, call me bro, this shit. That's just my vernacular. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be, like, rude. That's just, again, how I talk. Yeah, no, he went up, and I was really proud of him. But don't worry about Soph and Tom. They'll come around, they'll apologize, because I'm still talking to them. I'm still friends with them in some sort of scape, you know what I mean? Like, I see a lot of people's faults more than I see their perfections, and what they've been through is what shapes them in my mind, rather than who they try to appear to be. But, let their fucking honeymoon phase die out, you know what I mean? It'll die. And once it dies, that's when you're gonna start seeing some shit. It always happens.
Hi, puppy.
But they're still too fucking strung out on each other. Plus, they have financial stress already added in their relationship pretty early, so I don't think it's gonna end well, if I have to be honest. Tommy's too simp. Yeah, Tommy really likes Will. Like, not like in like a gay way, obviously. Like, Tommy like literally loves Will. He thinks Will's a great person, like a genuinely strong, good human being.
It's not what he said before. He said he was in love with him.
Like, he tried to say, like, in a very respectful way, like he's proud of Will for the shit he's been through.
But I think it was maybe he was clearing it up. I can't be completely sure. But it sounded like they wanted to be in a relationship with him. I had previously said that I didn't want him hanging out with someone named Raleigh Markovitz. I talked about them yesterday. Because they were part of Sophia's little clique, and They were slandering me all over town. And I didn't like it. How am I supposed to feel like if he got into like relations with this person and I had to be around them? No, I would not have been okay with that.
And then like change out of this biking clothes and shit because I got some shit to do. But I will hit you up later. Bree, it's good talking to you again. Jules will be ecstatic to hear that we talked in some capacity. So she loves you. She deeply misses you very much. Yeah. I will fucking. I can do this for you. But bye. Can't say.
Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I can't give out their socials. Although I guess I kind of already did. What's it matter? They're on Twitch. They're streaming. Hi. They might be watching me. They might be reacting to me. Probably laughing, probably mocking, making fun of me. They probably have way more of a chat. Probably ruining my reputation even more.
Hashtag.
Hi.
1 second. 5807.
Alright, so this was through Discord. Oops, sorry. Let me turn down the brightness. This was through Discord. His name is Lycos on Discord. And he streams. I'm doing this to save my life. I don't care if they send me a cease and desist. It's not like hardly anyone's watching anyway, but this is going to the police as well, just to let you know. Maybe if I turn up the brightness just a bit more. Sorry, I wasn't comfortable talking on the mic. I tried, but it was like it was weirdly not connecting, I think. Something like that. Anyway, I was typing in the chat to reply to him.
Boom. That's her shit.
Which I can.
Insta-lock you. Or insta-add you. She doesn't have many friends on Discord, so she'll know.
Probably blocked me already. That's why I couldn't find her. I think he slipped up. I think that's what he was saying there. She'll probably insta-block you.
With somebody personal adding her. Alright, I gotta bounce, so hit me up. I'll definitely message you if you want to keep talking, but I'm just gotta start doing some shit. See you later.
Alright. And then I talked for like 4 minutes, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I gotta use the bathroom, so I'll be right back. And I'll just let that run. Actually, no, I'll pause it. And I think that's it, really. That's it for the conversation, so